We found ourselves back at the shop after our drift weekend and doing a little test fitting on the S13. So what I'm using is just the cheap eBay mounts with the cheap what is the brand, Maxpeeding rods, brackets, and I've got everything loose still just to kind of loosely fit it in there. The engine still needs to lean back some, so I've got it kind of strapped in. I hit the ratchet a time or two to get it to tilt back, but I wanted to actually tilt way forward. So I think those mounts, one side's going to be further back and the other one's going to be further forward, so it's going to be like kind of twisted. That'll still work as long as I can get the engine straight like it should be for the drivetrain. Even if it's just a little off, it ain't gonna really kill it, as long as the drive shaft is balanced right, everything's hooked up. So I've got the engine on just like a strap here. I can bring it up just, you know, if I need to a little bit on that strap, but just don't want to set it too far back. So when I get my transmission hooked up, I won't be fighting it when I try to push it up. But so what I'm going to do now, raise the car up, and then I'm going to get the transmission set on the jack and then push it up and see if I can get the AR5 to line up with this jewel. Then test my mount, my actual transmission mount. That's the main thing. That's the reason I want to fit it in there. So with doing that, at least I know what I got. I do think it's still a little twisted maybe. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I think the passenger side needs to come forward a little bit. Just a hair. But I'm not going to worry with that right at the moment. I'm going to start trying to put my transmission in, and if I have to pull it that way, I can. So, alright, here we go. Alright, so I've got my rollback warming up. It's got cold again, and I've got everything buttoned up. Got the transmission at least hooked up. Got the strap turned loose from the front. It almost acts like it's sitting a little crooked. The mounts, just kind of visually looking at them, we did actually measure them too, but this side, I think it was this side, is further back a ½ inch than this side on the mounts. It's almost like the mounts should be, that one's like maybe twisted forward a little bit. Something's up with it. I think I can get it out of the mounts. I can adjust the mounts and get it to scoot over a little bit, but you can see with the shifter that the shifter is actually to one side a little more than the other. But I think if I loosen all the mounts, the front ones and the back, I think that I'll be able to get it to shift that much. I think I'll be able to get it to move over just a little bit. But this is the interior of this car. It's completely stripped. It was like this when I got it, which I pulled out. I unbolted that side and pulled it out and pulled out the whatchamacallit, the heater core. So I've got the heater core. It's out, it's disassembled, so it's ready for the actual heater core to be put back together. We're in Tennessee, so it gets cold here, so I'm going to put heat back in it. We won't have any AC, I'm not worried about that. There's a ton of just random junk back here. I hadn't been through it yet, so I don't know what all's in here. I don't know if there's any good parts. There's some taillights. Most of it's cracked and busted up. I have been looking at like some headlights and some, I've seen everything from R32 conversions on these to S15 fronts, S14, the bricks. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'm having a hard time finding any kind of 13 headlights The only thing in as far as the 13 I can find is the actual just the bulb replacements. It's hard to find any housings. It's hard to find any 14s. I couldn't find any 14s, except for the 97. So I don't know. I'll have to find some parts or make a decision on the front. Probably do the wider fenders in the front and on the quarters, because we're gonna end up being, you know, drifting it anyway. So put a wider body on it, get aftermarket fenders, aftermarket front bumper, that'll cover that stuff, maybe a bash bar, and probably just try to find a factory hood to put on this thing, and yeah, that'll cover the quarters too. Then figure out the interior. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's pretty bad. It's completely stripped, but you know, when you're doing these cars anyway, a lot of times if you're gonna cage it, which we probably will, you take all this stuff out anyway, so that probably would have happened anyway. So, but either way, I got the heater core out and gonna get it changed, and I may next week or so pull all the rest of this dash and stuff out, get it all separated, shorten the wiring harness from out front, and start getting a game plan of what I'm gonna do inside the car, with the relays and fan switches and all that stuff. So. Yeah, there's a lot to do on the wiring, and I hate wiring. But alright, here we go. So, my final answer on the Maxpeeding rods mount kit for the S13, 2JZ and S13. I gotta say they're okay. I mean, for the money, $100 and something for that swap mount set. You still have to get like a bushing style mount. But, again, let me get you focused in here. It's like this mount right here needs to tweak back one way or the other. Like it doesn't, I don't know, like it's twisted or something. So this one, I guess maybe a reference point you can see. It's kind of towards the back. The other one on this side, I mean, visually they look okay, but like that one's further back. You can see that this one is, you know, here, and this one's a hair forward. So I have seen that there's a ½ inch difference in it. So looking at the front of the motor, it almost is that way a little bit, and the shifter is going to be a little that side of where it should be. So we've got to, gonna take them all loose, kick it that way, tighten it back down, and see if it'll stay that way. So you can see that, you might be able to see, this mount is actually all the way back. It's pushed that way, and this one is, I think, all the way pushed forward, and you can even see the bolts kind of leaning. You know, you see the angle of the bolts kind of turn that way. So it almost is a little off on those bolt holes. So, you know, that's the problem I've got right now. I think I can get it out of it with the mounts. Maybe I may have to adjust the holes in here somewhere. Maybe, you know, give me a little more, wallow out that just a hair, and allow that to slide one way or the other, and give me a little bit, do a little on each side. I think they'll be okay. So it's an issue I'm having, but I think I can work it out. I think I can loosen everything and just shift it to where I want, and then lock it down where I want it with the rear mount, and work my way forward and tighten everything, and it should stay. So that'll be the idea. So we'll work on that. Not today, but calling it a day. So this is just a test fit, just to check everything out, see what everything's going to be, and because we got a short block we're going to start working on here pretty soon. But all right, here we go. All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. I'm just doing these kind of passing through kind of videos. I've got a lot going on, so you're getting what you're getting right now. I'll try to get a little more involved here before too long, but I decided on a color for the cross member. So I got the cross member painted. I'm debating on what I'm going to do on the front end once I take the take the car to paint to get the front end painted. I've got to figure out, do I temporary that back on? Do I take some stuff off? I did start painting on the opposite side a little bit, start sanding it down, and I made a decision to do something. If you know, you know. So we'll just leave it at that for right now. If you don't know, stay tuned. Before too long, you're gonna know. So that's where I'm at with that. Dropped the bottom end off at the machine shop. All that's getting worked over. I'm gonna stay with the, excuse me. I'm gonna stay with the non-VVTi bottom internals. I'm gonna shove it into the VVTi block. And we'll go VVTi head. And once we get it back, I've got to get the valves and stuff for the head. I don't have any of that stuff yet. So, yeah, we've got a long ways to go on this build, but making progress every single day. But, all right, yeah, one more. Yeah, wow, that's bright. So, yeah, I got things going on daily. I did work on the inside, like in this area, all the way on the inside. That looks pretty good now. I'll show you. There's not a lot of light in here, but I did sand all that down, sanded up behind here, all of that up through there. Obviously there's the big hole, but he's gonna have to do some body filler stuff anyway, so did the best I could with what I got to work with. It's primed underneath here. Gotta get up under there. I sanded this and primed it. So yeah, there's a lot left to do. A long way to go. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a day. And I actually did under this frame rail too. So I did. Oh, that's primed too. There's a few spots, but underneath the front, I got to do under the front too. Yeah, breathing paint now. So that's what we got going on. We'll be back tomorrow. We're gonna work on it some more. We're probably gonna go drifting this weekend too, so it'll be a little more drifting than what we're used to. So we got to load up. I don't even know what day it is. We're going to go to Gatlinburg for that thing. It's a big track, so we'll be doing that this weekend. But all right, here we go. Hey guys and girls, welcome to the channel. Alright, what we got going, I ended up putting another coat or two on this jewel, letting it finally settle in there. I think it's going to turn out okay. I really don't know. I may put another clear on it or two. Well, sizing up these things, I've never seen them installed. I've never installed any. I've never had anything to do with them, so I was trying different mock-ups, notching it out and getting it here, and you know, kind of seeing what I like and different looks of it. And then I went to this one, which it's just kind of tacked in there for now to kind of see. And the good thing is that they're a little forgiving, so I can pull one in a little if I need to come in to square it up. But I think I'm gonna like this one best. And yeah, I blew through a little bit. I'm not a welder. And so I think though, with this one pulled up tight, pulled over, I think that's gonna give me the angle I need to that corner. I did run 2 layers of just a leg coming up so what I'm gonna do is come over to fill that gap, and then we will come up with a sheet, fill that in. We may do that first, that sheet, and then come over from these to that sheet all the way, and then lay a piece here to create like a flat area here. I think that's the way I'm going to end up going. I didn't have a level or anything, so I've got to get some tools. I got to get a level, get it square, plumb, and level. I got to measure. I need to see how high I want to go up on the side before I turn in, because what's the point of adding a tub if you're going to down low turn this way and you're almost going to be in your own way. So I think I need to come up all I can before I come over. Plus that'll allow me to cut the tub off, so actually the tub may, you know, instead of being all the way down, I can, you know, maybe cut it here somewhere and it just be a short, you know, tub. But yeah, so it doesn't make sense to come over a lot and at a low angle, because I mean, you actually, when you coming from here, if you don't follow that contour, you're gonna pretty much be where you started, really, you know. So if I end up coming from here back to the tub right here, I didn't really gain anything height-wise, I don't think, you know. So I have to be at least as high as that, which I'm there. I'll end up taking this lip off. That'll end up going away all the way, this whole piece, and we'll probably end up cutting this short somewhere. So you're going to gain some area, and again, I want to go up, you know. I plan on going up more, but coming up the side, I don't know how far I'm going to come in. So just trying to try it on, see how it fits, kind of thing. So doesn't work, it doesn't work. Pull it off, clean it up. So just trying to fill it out, and if I don't like it, I'll cut it all back out and we'll start again and try something entirely different. So you can see how far I got to come over, which isn't a crazy amount. I could even, you know, actually come up, I don't know, maybe another run and then come over. So another one up and over. That would look kind of funky with these tall sides on both sides, you know. That would, I don't know, look kind of crazy. But still, the first step up puts us right here, I think was, yeah, this one. It was a factory one anyway, so that's normally where it come up anyway. Pretty close to it. Not quite, but you know, half of it at least. So we're the half of the thickness of one of these high, but then it jumps over to this elevation. So this is the elevation your battery tray was on. So way up here. So, I mean, and I plan on putting a plate, you know, from here all the way across, so we have to come up to that elevation somewhere. I just don't know how to get there from here, and I don't want to be any lower than what we originally started, so I may have to move it up anyway after looking at it. Well, no, I can't be no lower than what it was originally because I'm still on the strut tower. Anyway, that's what I'm working on. I don't have a clue. Never seen it done. Never done it. Can't afford the kit. I mean, I probably could, but I don't want to have to pay $500–600 for it. So this keeps me busy on the car. Still got to do the harness. Still got the cross member, and I did order the aluminum shift bushing that goes in there. I'm still debating on what I'm going to do on the steering. I really don't know just yet. And the short block is at the machine shop. So, but yeah, that's what I'm working on, and we will continue on from there. We're going drifting Saturday in Gatlinburg at the Smoky Stadium. I'm loaded up, ready to go do that, so tomorrow I can just come over in the BMW. I don't have to drive the rollback. I don't have to deal with all that mess. And continue on with this. Maybe go get a couple pieces of sheet metal and try to wrap it. After I make one, I can just pretty much trace out on some cardboard the other one. I just got to figure out how it's got to set, and if I end up messing it up, I've got one other side to try. Then I have to go buy a whole new. This is actually a fender. I tried a fender, so we'll see if it works. But all right, either way, here we go.
I'm feeling